Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
After receiving revelation from Allah and the appointment of the Prophet Muhammad as a messenger, he was tasked with warning his people to worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thus, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, began his mission secretly. However, before continuing, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Also, share this video so that it may benefit everyone. Thank you. As the birthplace and place of upbringing of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the city of Mecca was chosen by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as the starting point for his mission. Initially, the method of preaching employed by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was secretive, conducted in private. This lasted for the first 3 years of his preaching. Considering the weak position of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, additionally, the content of his preaching was in stark contrast to the beliefs of his society, which was filled with polytheistic values. The first group of people to whom he preached Islam was, of course, his family and close acquaintances. Even then, he chose only those who showed signs of goodness in themselves. His efforts were not in vain. In the early days of his preaching, a number of people gathered who accepted his message with full conviction and respect for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They are known in Islamic history as the Sahabah al-Awwalan, the first generation to embrace Islam. The leading figures of this group were his own wife, al-Mu'minin, Khadija bint Khuwaylid, his slave, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Zayd bin Haritha, his cousin, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ali bin Abi Thalib radiyallahu an, who was still young at the time and was cared for by the Prophet. His close companion, Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him. After embracing Islam, Abu Bakr al-Siddiq immediately joined the call to Islam. Through his efforts, combined with his noble character and respected status in society, his call to Islam quickly bore fruit. Not long after, a number of people converted to Islam through him, including Uthman bin Affan, Zubair bin Awam, Abdurrahman bin Auf, Son bin Abi Waqqas, Talha bin Ubaidillah, may Allah be pleased with him. They were also classified as the first generation of companions and played a significant role in the propagation of Islam by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Then, one by one, the people of Quraysh embraced Islam, such as Bilal bin Rabah, Abu Ubaidah Amir bin Jarrah, Abu Salama bin Abdul al-Asad, Arqam bin Abi Arqam, Uthman bin Maz'un, Fatima binti Khattab, the sister of Umar bin Khattab, Kabab bin Arad, Abdullah bin Mazin, and others. It was very appropriate for the conditions at that time, which demanded gentleness of heart and soul. In addition, the revelations that came down described heaven and hell in such detail that it was as if they were right before their eyes. This could cause a person to long for heaven and fear hell. Gradually, a strong bond of the heart formed among them. Then came the sense of brotherhood and mutual aid, further strengthening their faith. The ritual they had been performing from the beginning was the prayer. However, at that time, the 5 daily prayers had not yet been established. What they did was pray to Rak'ah every morning and evening. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "And glorify your Lord with praise, and glorify your Lord with praise in the evening and in the morning." Quran Surah Al-Mu'min verse 55. They continued to do this secretly so that it would not be known by the community. Although the call to Islam was still carried out secretly, eventually the news reached the ears of the disbelieving Quraysh. At first, they did not pay much attention to him. They considered what the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was doing to be no different from what some people had done before, who simply wanted to revive religious values. However, over time, concerns began to arise as the influence of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, grew stronger and more widespread. They started paying attention to and monitoring the Prophet's message. Only Allah knows best.